How you guys doing? We're locked down, but we're not out, right? We don't know yet. We don't know yet, but we here. So we might as well use our time for something, right? Today we're gonna go over how to throw a proper jab. I know hundreds of videos on YouTube, how to throw a punch, how to throw a jab. Why are you gonna listen to me for? Because I'm gonna show you something that you could search the whole internet and probably not find. And if you do, disclaimer for you guys, okay? And whenever I start training with somebody, whenever somebody shows interest in the art of boxing, right? I don't teach them how to throw no punches. Everything's from the ground up, all right? Could go days, it could go weeks, it depends on the person. It could go until we throw one punch. Enrich the soil with fundamentals. Watch the technique grow, right? So, I wanted to give something to you guys that everybody can use, you know, whether if you're a novice or intermediate, master, professional, hardcore, or casual. Anybody could use this. Why do I show people? So everybody else could sharpen up their game so we could be better. You know, everybody likes to hide their secrets. And I think sometimes they tend to scare because they don't know what to do after, right? Well, I'm a firm believer that if you share information with people and they start challenging you to look for different methods. So if you guys start using this, then I'm gonna have to try to find something to counter it. But like my saying says, a great offense cannot be countered, but only defended. So I guess I'm gonna have to block it or find a way. It depends. Maybe I'm gonna have to break this rule, but for now, this rule is 99.9%. A great offense cannot be countered, but only defended. I love it. All right, so what are we going to show you? How we start this thing? Assumptions. I hate making assumptions, you know? But let's say everybody knows how to stand in the boxing stance. Let's say you have a good teacher and he's taught you how to stand and taught you the reasons why. So, I'm going to throw a couple of punches, I'm going to throw a couple of jabs. They may look good. They may look like good jabs. But I'm going to show you the little inches. I'm going to show you the little creases or what's wrong with it. And maybe it'll help you improve your game, right? All right. Looks good, right? Those look like good jabs. You're probably asking me, what the hell, what's wrong with those punches? What can be done to sharpen up those punches? Well, I'm going to show you. There was a whole bunch of things wrong with that punch. And I had to force myself. I actually had to practice. So, first thing I want you to think about when throwing a jab is a screw. When you put a screw to a board and you try to hit it with a hammer, it doesn't go nowhere. So when I'm throwing a punch and I'm just hitting with it and I'm just throwing a punch to hit with a hammer, it's not going nowhere. When I take a screw and I put it to the board, even with a little pressure, I start to turn with it, that screw starts to penetrate the board, correct? So any force that goes even through gravity, when you punch it through gravity, when you punch it through force, a turning motion is always better. You understand? When a bullet exits a gun and it shoots, it needs to spin out the barrel. It turns, it cuts through gravity, all right? So it's the same thing I want to do with my punch. When I throw my punch, I want to turn all the way. See that? Now where am I ending with my punch? There's still things wrong with the punch. I'm going up to the punch until you see how a solid jab is supposed to be thrown. All right? Now I'm turning. Where do I end up? What part of my body is going to touch my opponent first? The farthest part of our arm, the first part of our hand to the closest part of our opponent, correct? So we have to look, when we throw our punch, what's the first thing that's going to connect? A lot of people say the first two. It's the middle. The middle punch, this middle finger, this mud knuckle, it's going to be your penetrating to turn all the way over. So that's the first thing you want to hit with. It ends up being two punches, but some people have knuckles, you look at it right here, when you press it against the wall, the bone doesn't end up straight. It goes crooked. Right? You get this turn with the wrist, which you don't want. Right? You want everything to be straight down the bone. Right? When I turn, the first thing I'm hitting with it is that knuckle. See that straight line. When I hit right from here, I turn, boom, and I hit, boom, and I'm back. See that? Hit, and I'm back. Hit, and I'm back. Hit, and I'm back. I'm always turning my punch. What else is wrong with the punch? Anytime you throw a punch, you're supposed to be using your body as defense. You're supposed to cover. So if I'm throwing my punches here, my chin is all out, throwing my punch, my chin is all out, still turning, still throwing, but my chin is open. Offense, defense, they work together. So when I throw my punch, straight down the line and my chin is covered up through my shoulder. You notice when I punch, my chin touches, when I turn, my chin touches the shoulder. Come this way. Alright. So when I turn, I'm blocking at the same time. When I turn, I'm blocking at the same time. Disclaimer, there's different levels of jabs. There's more than one jab. There's more than one way to throw a jab. Alright? There's many ways to throw jabs. But these are the fundamentals of how your jab works. Now, once you learn how your punch is supposed to turn, you start seeing where my body is supposed to be at that point of contact, correct? For example, we have uptown jabs, we have downtown jabs, we have square jabs, we have jabs to the body, we have evasive jabs. So there's different angling of the punch, correct? When I throw an uptown jab and I come down, I can't throw the jab the same way I throw the standing jab. I have to change it. So if I'm coming down the level to throw my uptown jab, I can't throw it the same way. I have to turn my wrist. So I have to go with my motion of my body. So when I come down, I turn up. I come down. Turn up. I come down. When I'm throwing from uptown, I have to turn my wrist more. I have to turn my arm more than when if I'm standing straight up. If I'm standing straight up, my wrist is not going to turn as much. But when I'm throwing from uptown, my wrist is turning more up. Alright? Last but not least, what's the last way to fix your jab? Too many people lift their elbow when they throw their punch. Elite fighters see things like the future. Little twitches, little movements. They see things before you can know that they're seeing them. It's crazy game. So you have to understand your movements. Everything has to be, you have to trim the fat. Trimming the fat. That's what you have to do with your game. Trimming the fat. When you trim the fat, you get to point A to point B quicker. No waste. Alright? So what we don't want, I'll show you some examples. When I throw my punch with my elbow coming up, I give sight to my opponent of what punch is coming. So it gives them the jump. As soon as I see the elbow moving out the way. I see the elbow. As soon as I see the elbow move, you're throwing a punch. Gives me an alert to move something. I may move to the right. I may slip. I may evade. It's harder to see the punch when the elbow's inside, correct? There's also a force thing. When I bring my elbow up and throw, I'm moving the energy away from the way it has to go. I don't want my energy to go away from the target. If I'm throwing my elbow up to throw, see that? It's a bend. You don't want that. You want the energy to go straight, like a bullet, like an arrow, straight direct, right? So I'm throwing my punches. My elbow has to be inside. Cannot be outside. has to be inside when I throw my elbow, when I throw my punch. So when I meet my punch from point A to point B, elbow stays inside, I turn, connect, everything straight. Elbows inside, turn, all the way up, block, straight, knuckle. Elbow inside, turn, straight, chin, knuckle. So those are little things to fix your game up. There's also little other actions we could get into. For example, a little extra that I could give to you guys. All right, stop pumping your hands when you throw your punch. Do not pump your hands. All right. See, a lot of people do this. Keep your hands by your chin. Keep them wherever they're gonna be, from still to speed. Augmentation of speed. From 0 to 100, real quick, all right? I don't do this. I don't hesitate. I don't pump, all right? When I throw my jab, straight from there, okay? It's the first one, all right? Just a little something. It's more to the game, trust me. There's way more. That's a sprinkle, you know what I mean? And I hope it helps everybody. I hope it's something that you can add to your game, add to your punches, you know what I mean? So you can be better, so we can be better. You know, we got guys that's coming up, hopefully after this virus passes. Hopefully after this pandemic passes and hopefully things restore to order, we can continue our boxing journey and, you know, figure this thing out. I'm gonna keep throwing some videos up. Remember, great offense cannot be countered, but only defended. Right? There's other little notions I'm gonna draw up there, little sayings for you guys. You know, things that can stick in your head. Right? Hope this helps. Stacks Boxing. I'm out.